Why did nobody tell me how good Hi-Fi Rush actually is? Hi-Fi Rush is a game developed by Tango Gameworks and published by Bethesda Softworks in 2023 for the Xbox systems, Windows, and PS5. Tango Gameworks are the guys that also were behind games like the Evil Within series and Ghostwire Tokyo. By August of 2023, the game had reached 3 million players between Game Pass and copies sold. And yet, I was not one of those early adopters of playing Hi-Fi Rush. Although I wish I was, because this game is a certified banger. Hi-Fi Rush is a rhythm hack and slash game, and it is freaking cool. The main concept of the game is attacking on beat. So when you listen to songs, most if not all of them, I believe, are in a 4/4 time signature, where you listen to the beat and you attack on the beat. When you attack on the beat, you deal more damage, you can do combos and whatnot, and honestly, it's a very basic concept that I absolutely love. Now that being said, I can also see how Hi-Fi Rush could be a more difficult game for people that aren't not necessarily musically inclined, but maybe just have no rhythm, or it's a little bit more difficult. Although there is a music meter that you can put on screen that shows you the exact beat. So if you're not hearing it audibly, visually you should be able to see and click to the beat that way as well. As for myself personally, I jumped right into this game. I fell right at home and I loved it. I didn't really have any problems playing to the beat. Granted, I played on a easier difficulty. I think I played on normal. But I never had really any problems getting off time or anything like that. Although there was one boss fight where I think I kept dying, and obviously it's because I probably just am not that good at the game. But the beat meter came on screen for that one specific moment, and I was able to beat the boss that way. But aside from that, I didn't really have any issues of, getting off beat all that often anyway. Like the music is loud enough and everything goes to the beat. So it was honestly, for one, it's really, really cool. It's got like a cool world design, and two, the music just bangs. But we'll start with the world design first. Futuristic, it takes place inside this robot, like a robotic factory, is kind of the whole gist of the game. You play as a character named Chai, and Chai at the very beginning is going to this robot place, and you don't really know why until a little bit later, obviously, like still in the opening cutscene, but his arm is worthless. It's in a sling. I don't know if it's broken or just destroyed or whatever, but Chai essentially gets his arm removed and a robotic one replaced. But in the middle of doing that, his little MP3 player gets put in with him, like the machine that was like getting his arm put in. And anyway, the MP3 player falls into the machine, it gets smashed into his chest, and then Chai becomes the beat, I guess, the guy. Anyway, rendering himself a defect, and defects get destroyed, and Chai doesn't want to die, obviously, because he's a cyborg, not necessarily a full-on robot. So he gets out of there and meets up with a girl named Peppermint, and Peppermint helps Chai out along the way, but we also meet other characters along the way too that add a very unique combat system thing that we'll get into in a minute. But I wanted to go back and talk about the world design itself. The levels and the world that you are in is super cool. It's very, like I said, industrial, robotic. The world, when you start to look around, everything is started, like it pulsates to the beat. So you have other visual cues other than just listening to the songs themselves. Well, one thing I tried to do, because when I first started, watching Chai walks to the beat, and I tried my hardest to get Chai to walk off beat, but it's just not possible. The animation of him walking will either stutter or speed up to get to where he's walking on beat instantly. So by the time you take the first step, that first step is on beat. So it's just little small silly things like that. But yeah, you look around, you see all the environments, and things are pulsating to the beat to help you out visually when it comes to doing things, because chaining dashes together on the beat helps you with movement. You can jump on beat as well. Really what it does is it just makes this world feel more alive and connected. this, watching things pulsate. You can go talk to other robots and do little side quests within the main quest that you're doing. I mean, it's not open world. It's definitely levels. I think there's 10 levels, 8 or 10 levels. Some of them being between 45 minutes to an hour long, even depending on how good or bad you are at the game. But yeah, the world feels good. It feels vibrant. It's happy. It's goofy. You talk to robots, and a lot of them have different, quips or quirks that they say. There's these vacuum robots that all they do is vacuum, and if you walk up and smack one of them, they freak out and they start screaming and running. And one of them was like, after I hit him, he's like, what the, and he kept saying the word beep to bleep out swearing. He's like, what the bleep, or something like that. I thought it was hilarious. There's lots of charm that this game has in its world design, in its characters, in its storytelling. I love all of it. So now let's get into the combat of the game, where, like I mentioned earlier at the beginning, you're attacking on beat. Pretty much everything you are doing is on beat, and you fight lots of different robots. Some robots can shoot you with laser beams, some of them chuck bombs at you, some of them can put up these blue force fields, which you're going to need a buddy, which I'll talk about in a second, to help you destroy those. Some robots have giant shields, which once again, you need a buddy. Some of them shoot fire at you, which once again, you need a buddy. So there's 3 different buddies, and I'll get into that in a second. But basically, the gameplay is as follows. Tap X or Y on beat to kill robots, right? You can also parry too, which is another mechanic that it gets introduced a little bit later. And it's really cool. Like, you can go while you're playing throughout this game and you feel like such a badass. You're doing different combos, which you can purchase from a store. I'll get into that a little bit later too. But you're doing different combos, fighting robots. Like, you could be fighting this guy and then someone's about to shoot you in the back and then you parry that. It feels so good. It feels so smooth, so fluid. Every attack is so impactful. The sound and audio design is so freaking cool. The combat feels great. Like, it feels so good going into doing different combos, and then eventually, if you get the right button combos, there's a circle that has a bigger circle that shrinks down into the circle. Basically, you have to tap the X or Y button at the correct time to deal an even more powerful attack. And then, as you build up your music meter, I guess is what I'm going to call it. It's like your battery meter. After you build it up, then you're able to do an even bigger move, which is like a special attack. Those were really cool too. Lots of them as well. And like I said, there's a store that you can go and you can buy all these different combos. You can buy these different power-ups. You can upgrade your health. You can upgrade your music meter. You can upgrade your guitar pick slot, which a guitar pick is like, you can get different slots for it. I think you can get 3 or 4 depending on what upgrade you have. But essentially these picks just give you small little buffs. And well, there's one, if you don't read, you'll end up spending money on it. But Peppermint, the first character that you meet and kind of like your right-hand man that helps you along the way, is the one that creates these guitar picks, and one of them is this ability allows you to, or it basically nerfs you so that the ability to suck in like money and things when you walk by and you could just things suck into you. You can put that on and it makes that worse. And she says in the description along the lines of like, Chai, you need to be reading these because I made this one and this one actually sucks and doesn't do anything for you. But I just made it to make sure that you're actually reading the descriptions. I thought it was funny, but there's lots of little things like that in this game that you're like, dude, there's so much love and charm and time put into crafting this beautiful, beautiful game. It looks great, it sounds great, it feels great, and the combat is super fun. And then we get into the buddy system, which is like one of the most unique things that I've experienced when it comes to hack and slash games like this. But essentially you get 3 different buddies that do very basic but different things. So you're in the middle of battle, you're fighting all these different robots, you're doing different combos, and then you attack this guy, you parry here, you drop down Peppermint, who has 2 pistols, and she blasts the crap out of this robot, and then you dash over here and you have a grapple hook as well. You can grapple hook to this guy and then you start attacking him, and then you can drop down Macaroon, who is this big burly dude he's got his green suit, and he just unleashes all of these massive punches, and he can break big shields and do lots of damage to robots there. And then the last character, I don't know why I can't remember her name, but she has red hair and she does like this tornado spin move with this staff she has. And you can daze enemies that way, also put out fires. And you can do all three of these characters at the same time, as far as like in a sequential order. Like you can attack here, drop Peppermint while she's shooting. You can go to this robot, drop Macaroon down there. He blows, like he's pounding this guy, and then you can go to a third robot and throw down the red hair girl, and then she stuns this one, and their gauges recharge fairly quickly, so you're constantly doing all of these different combos, going from here, doing like an XXYX. You can grapple this character, smack him up in the air, and then you can use Macaroon to punch this character back down, and then you could throw Peppermint over there and she's blasting a robot that has a shield on, and then you throw the red hair girl here and she just rendered a bunch of robots, like impaired them, and then you go over and you can attack them, and it just keeps going. And on top of all of that, you're doing it to the beat. You are doing all of this to the beat of super good, well-crafted songs that just make you feel like a total badass. You feel like a rock star destroying all of these different monsters. And on top of all that, you're doing all these parries and combos and attacks. This game is so good. I wish to God that I played this upon release, because I'm probably part of the problem of Tango Gameworks' fate, which honestly was a shocker and unexpected to most of the gaming community, especially those that have played this game, because of how good it is. It is so freaking good. I fell in love with this game very quickly, and I would love for everybody else to play this game too, because it really is just that freaking good. Kind of how the game is broken up is it's broken up by courses. So you're in a level, and most of the level is like you platforming around and collecting things, solving puzzles, doing different button inputs, and then you get to like a course section, where the combat is, right? So there's not like tons of enemies riddled throughout the level. You have different controlled sections where you do combat. And like I said, that's what the chorus is. So there's probably 7 to 10 choruses per level. Some of them are shorter, some of them are longer. It just depends on the level you're playing. But you get into the chorus section, and this is where the combat takes place. This is where the song ramps up, it gets louder and more upbeat, and that's where your combat is. That's where you can do lots of different combos. You can use all of your different buddies to kill robots. And some of those last between, 4 or 5 minutes. They're not too long. But you have these chorus sections where you do the combat, and then after that, then you get back into the game where you're platforming around, you moving your way through the levels, collecting different things. You collect your money, you can collect health gems that level up your health, battery packs that level up your music charge gauge where you can unleash a stronger attack. And then you can collect guitar picks and the like. So it's really, really fun. And at first I thought that this would bother me, because it's like, well, I'm not fighting throughout. I'm just fighting in these controlled kill walls, basically. But no, it's good. I liked it. The pacing was awesome. The combat feels so good. And you could probably sit and they have that in the game, but you could probably sit in there and just do the combat sections for waves and waves and waves, which there's a thing after you beat the game that you can go do, which is like a tower, basically, where you do all of these different floors, and all it is just the straight up combat and music. And if you want that, you can get that. I liked the balance of both. I really liked the combat. It felt so good. I loved the music, and I also liked platforming and trying to, find secrets and get up to certain places and do different moves and whatnot. So that was fun too. This game is just such a beautiful balance of both of that, of the combat, the music, and the exploration and platforming and collecting. And then the story's pretty good too. There's a twist towards the end, which if you're paying attention, you can probably pick up on it faster than I did. I did pick up on it before the twist actually happens. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but the characters are so charming. The dialogue is awesome. The writing is hilarious. I loved a lot of the bigger story beats. The chemistry between the characters is phenomenal. The boss fights are really fun too. Like there's so many different boss fights for you to do that are they're good. The songs are good. Fighting the bosses feel good. Honestly, this game's a 10 out of 10. This is a perfect masterpiece. I don't even have any complaints with it, really, other than like it wasn't that long of a game, but there's still tons of bonus content after you beat the game. It took me about 10 hours to beat, but like I said, there's lots of bonus content. There's that tower thing I was telling you about. Even after you beat the game, Peppermint's like, hey, I know that we kind of finished the thing, but there's lots of these weird oddities going on throughout each level. So you can go back into the levels, and there's just more bonus content. So there really is a lot here for the player to mess around with. Plus, there's lots of different secrets, there's unlocks, there's different achievements and challenges you can do, which in turn give you more money and more things to purchase upgrades and whatnot. So this game definitely will benefit from multiple playthroughs, even if you wanted to just continue to do the post-game stuff. Tons of it there. You know, like this game is freaking awesome. I love Hi-Fi Rush. 10 out of 10. I wish I would have played this 2 years ago when it was shadow dropped and released to the world. I wish I would have just jumped on and played it, because it really is that freaking good of a game. And sadly, we all know that Tango Gameworks got shut down by Microsoft back in 2024, and all hope was lost. Everybody was mad. They were upset because they're like, this game is really good. And, you know, hearing the number 3 million players between like Game Pass downloads and people that bought the copies of the game, you'd think that like that should be enough that Microsoft would be like, oh, well, we'll just, you know, obviously keep them going. This is a banger studio. Well, anyway, Microsoft was stupid. They shut down Tango Gameworks, and we were lucky enough that a publisher by Crafton swooped in, and they revived Tango, keeping them alive, and hopefully allowing them to continue to make some banger games. You know, I've played through the Evil Within series. I like them. I've played through Hi-Fi Rush now. I love it. And, you know, I'll eventually go through and play Ghostwire Tokyo, which I mean, I think a lot of people really like it. So, anyway, I don't know. I think this game is a banger. I think it is underrated, even though everybody that talks about it and plays it loves it to pieces. I love this game to pieces. I love rhythm games. I love hack and slashes. I love this. I love the art style. I love the music. I love the combat. I love the world. I love the level design. I love the gameplay. I love everything about Hi-Fi Rush. And this was a perfect game for me. It was beautiful. It was funny. It was hilarious. It was charming. It's a banger. So if you haven't played Hi-Fi Rush, going to get Game Pass alone just to play this game is well worth it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love this game to death. I don't think I could say anything else about it though. But I want to know what your guys' thoughts are in the comment section down below. If you've played Hi-Fi Rush, what did you think about it? And if you haven't played Hi-Fi Rush, you probably should go play it. Because I was one of those people that were like, yeah, I mean, the game looks awesome. It's probably right up my alley. But I'm doing other things and I'm not going to play it right now. This game is around 10 hours, 10 to 12 hours of your time. Go do it. Don't play Call of Duty for a week or whatever you're playing. Put Fortnite down. Go play Hi-Fi Rush. Go give it a shot. At least play the first mission, because if you like the first mission, you're going to love the rest of the game. Anyway, thank you guys for watching or listening. And yeah, I will catch you in the next one. And as always, keep it rad.